We take a living human animal, place it inside an artificial environment, and demand that it function according to the design of the box. The lights are fixed, the schedule is fixed, the desk is fixed, the rules are fixed. When the human struggles, we examine the human. We diagnose the human. We correct the human. We train the human to tolerate the box. But we rarely stop and ask, who designed the box? Most schools, offices, clinics, and public systems are designed around an imaginary standard person. This person can sit still for long periods. They can tolerate bright light, background noise, interruptions, and crowded spaces. They change tasks quickly, understand mostly verbal instructions, follow a standardized schedule, and perform socially throughout the day. That person is treated as normal, but very few real people match the entire design. The box was built for an average human who may not actually exist. The bias amplitude model helps us understand why the same person can appear highly capable in one environment and profoundly impaired in another. Bias influences what kind of information and conditions a nervous system naturally handles best. Amplitude is the capacity currently available. Load consumes that capacity, and the environment changes how much load is created before the actual task even begins. A person may be intelligent, skilled, motivated, and responsible, and still lose access to those abilities under the wrong conditions. The environment does not merely surround the nervous system, it becomes part of its operating conditions. The orchid and dandelion idea gives us one way to think about environmental responsiveness. A dandelion can grow under many different conditions. An orchid may struggle under poor conditions, but flourish dramatically when its needs are met. That does not make the orchid weaker. It makes the orchid more responsive to the quality of its environment. Human beings can also vary in environmental sensitivity. The same sensitivity that appears to be a weakness in hostile conditions may become exceptional ability in supportive ones. This is not a division between autistic people and social people. It's not a new human classification. It is simply a reminder that the same trait can produce very different outcomes in different soil. Consider an autistic or strongly analytic nervous system. Unpredictable noise, harsh lighting, vague expectations, compulsory social performance, constant interruptions, and rapid task switching may consume capacity before meaningful work begins. The apparent inability may actually be ability buried beneath avoidable load. But environmental mismatch does not belong to only one neurotype. A strongly social person may suffer in prolonged isolation, remote work without belonging, technically narrow work with little human contact, or environments dominated by distrust. The ultimate people person is not defective because a relationally barren environment drains them. And the generalist or bridge neurotypes may need variety, flexibility, translation, and movement between different cognitive modes. A bridge can also be overloaded, especially when expected to mediate between incompatible groups without authority, recognition, or support. Different nervous systems encounter different boxes. Institutions often reward the neurotype that best matches their existing defaults. That does not prove that person possesses greater overall ability. It may simply prove that the environment was built in their cognitive language. A standardized system does not necessarily reveal who is most capable. It reveals who is best matched to the standard. Fit is not the same thing as ability. Instead of beginning with the question, what is wrong with this person, we can ask, what is this environment demanding from this nervous system? Then we can separate three things: what is essential to the task, what is necessary for safety, and what exists merely because nobody ever questioned it. A job may genuinely require accuracy, responsibility, cooperation, or dependable results. It may not require fluorescent lighting, constant interruption, compulsory eye contact, one communication style, or identical schedules. Sometimes the barrier has nothing to do with the actual purpose of the work. Imagine a room that does not expect every person to function in exactly the same way. It contains quiet, low stimulation areas. It also contains conversational and collaborative areas. There are transitional spaces between them. Lighting and sound can be adjusted. People can move or remain still. Information can be written, spoken, or visual. These are spaces for privacy and spaces for belonging. The room does not demand that every person become the same. It responds to the people currently inside it. The goal is not one perfect environment. The goal is an environment capable of changing. Accommodation is often described as lowering standards or granting an unfair advantage. But proper accommodation does not remove the purpose of an activity. It removes demands that are irrelevant to the purpose. A ramp does not lower the standard of entering a building. It removes an irrelevant barrier. In the same way, reducing unnecessary sensory load, clarifying communication, adjusting schedules, or providing the right tools does not erase responsibility. It allows actual capacity to become visible. Accommodation does not manufacture human potential. It reveals potential that the environment was hiding. A society cannot benefit from autistic analysis, social coordination, and generalist integration while designing institutions that suppress or exhaust those differences. Complementary cognition is not achieved merely by placing different people in the same room. The conditions must allow their different capacities to remain available. An adaptable society does not merely include different minds. It creates conditions in which those minds can contribute. Different minds need room. Evolution produced diverse human nervous systems. Civilization built standardized boxes. Good design begins when we stop asking how to make every ape fit the same environment and start asking how to make our environments fit the humans who must live inside them. We built the box. We placed the ape inside it, and then we blamed the ape for not fitting. Perhaps it's time to redesign the box. Human evolution is an established scientific fact. Every living human being belongs to the same species, Homo sapiens. Different bodies, different cultures, different nervous systems, one shared evolutionary history. When I use the word ape in this series, I mean all of us. Humanity is not separate from nature. We are one branch of it. Because beneath every neurotype, every institution, and every piece of technology, we are still apes. Next episode, because we are apes, the human nervous system has only so many levers. And for a fictional exploration of the kind of civilization we might build when we begin designing around human differences, look for my novel, Rise of Atlantis, available through Barnes & Noble. Until next time, I'm not broken, because different isn't broken.